Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another Inside Lowell podcast. I am your host, Teddy Panos, coming to you from the WellPoint Studios here in beautiful, historic downtown Lowell. WellPoint is the only health plan offering healthcare benefits exclusively to Massachusetts GIC members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. We thank our friends at WellPoint for hosting us here in their studios and for helping to make our Inside Lowell podcast possible, along with the rest of our Inside Lowell podcast sponsors. Of course, our friends at the Washington Savings Bank, banking that feels like home. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. TMI Properties, quality and value at every price point. Find your perfect space with TMI. Mahoney Oil, providing warmth and protection to Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's 100 years of service. Great company, better people. Only you knew what they did behind the scenes. One of these days I'm going to get them on here so they can tell you. Thank you as well to the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, who you're going to hear a little bit about in just a quick second here. The Greater Lowell Community Foundation, improving the quality of life in Greater Lowell through impactful philanthropy. Francis E. Prevention Insurance, the agency Greater Lowell has counted on since 1982. Real Estate Ray Booten, licensed realtor, certified appraiser in both Massachusetts and New Hampshire. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or a commercial property, Real Estate Ray Booten is your man. And last but certainly not least, the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Mill City. We're recording this, by the way, on January 21st. 2 months from today, March 21st, is their season opener at the Tsongas Center. Get your tickets now. And I tell you to get your tickets to the event that these two guys are here to talk about, but unfortunately, it's already sold out. Not that I'm surprised, but I'm excited to welcome them into our studios as well and talk a little bit about why they're putting on a great event and the benefits to the community. I'm going to start to the right of your monitor, your TV screen, your computer, or your cell phone, however you're watching it. Jay Linehan from the Greater Lowell Community Foundation is here with us. Jay, welcome.
Well, thanks, Teddy. Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. I appreciate you making the long journey
up
to
two
the
flights.
WellPoint Studios, up 2 flights of stairs, because you're located in the same building as
That's
us.
correct.
This is the happening building, by the way, between the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, the Chamber of Commerce. We've got Peter Lally and the Spectacle Live crew right down the hall. The New England, the International Institute of New England, just moved in next door to us. We're hopping over here, folks.
Yeah, I think we're the anchor downstairs.
This is the place to be.
We've been here for a while.
They want to know where all the activity is in downtown Lowell. It's right here in this building. John Chemaly is joining us as well here in the studios. John is here to represent the Chelmsford Community Club, but John's well known in the community. Currently with Pride Star EMS, but Pride Star Trinity EMS, formerly with Trinity. And if there's a community project, a fundraiser, an event, or something going on that you haven't been involved with since I got to meet you 15 plus years ago, I'd like to know what that event is.
Sure.
Does it exist?
I don't know yet.
We'll find one one of these days. All right, so you guys are here to talk about, I did all this work to put this graphic up here, a night of comedy presented by the Greater Lowell Community Foundation to benefit the Chelmsford Community Club. And look at that lineup of comedians: Steve Sweeney, Paul Gilligan, Paul Nardizzi. And it's taking place this Saturday night at the Chelmsford Arts Center. And it's sold out. You sold out, what, yesterday, right before you came in?
Well, it's a good issue to have. It's great that we're going to sell out. But let me just back up just a little bit and talk about the Chelmsford Community Fund and how it happened, and just a little bit about the Greater Lowell Community Foundation. I've been on your show before and we've chatted about how it all works, so I won't belabor it. But the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, we manage about $70 million, and about $4 million goes out the door every single year, whether it be scholarships, donor advised funds, or discretionary grants. But we create funds through folks locally, so it's local money taking care of local needs, and that's exactly what the Chelmsford Community Fund's all about. Chelmsford Community Fund is like a donor advised fund, but it's for Chelmsford. There are people who participate on it, and they're a steering committee, and they try to raise funds. And then in turn, we have funds that go out into the community, and we do things in Chelmsford. So the fund's raised about 40, and it's spent maybe 20, 25. So we're always looking to have a healthy balance. But the fundraiser is to raise more money. But where have the funds gone? They have gone to the senior center at the town of Chelmsford. They have gone to a DCF event for kids that the Chelmsford did. The Wish Project, they did it for diapers, and they did it for baby seats, and the Wish Project's in Chelmsford. They did it for the food bank in Chelmsford. So it's all money raised in the town for the town. So again, this is an event where we're looking to raise some money. It looks like we're going to do that because, again, we're sold out. But anybody that's listening and said, gee, I really sorry I didn't get a ticket in time, make a donation to the Chelmsford Fund. It's right on our website. You can go in and click. The tickets were going to be $35. So if you go, well, okay, I'll save 10. Give me $25. And if we have a whole bunch of people in Chelmsford do that, or anybody that's not outside of Chelmsford who wants to support some of those initiatives, then in fact do that, and we'll continue to raise money that makes an impact locally.
And if you do that, you'll probably get advance notice of great events like this, and you won't get shut out ticket-wise, right? But just to recap before I bring John in, what you guys in essence do, from talking to you in the past, Jay, is you basically, for folks who want to give back to their community, they want to start some kind of a fund, do some fundraising, but they don't know how to do it. And it's a pain. It's complicated. There's a lot of legalese and paperwork you have to go to, and a lot of processes you have to follow. And some folks they want to do it, but they don't have the bandwidth. And that's where you guys come in. They can basically approach you and say, this is what I want to do. And then you guys kind of take it from there. You guide them, you set things up, and you basically run the fund for them.
Correct.
Really, right?
Correct. That's in fact what we do. It wouldn't be the first time that I had someone come in my office. I said, boy, I wish you'd come to me yesterday, where they went through and set all these different types of things up. I said, we can do things really, really simple at the Greater Lowell Community Foundation. It's helping people direct their philanthropy,
and
have an impact in your community. How many different funds do you oversee? Well, there's about 500 separate funds from a variety, from all sorts of people across the Greater Lowell area. And their scholarship funds or donor advised funds. We also curate agency funds. We have a bunch of nonprofit agencies that invest through us. We do their investments on their behalf. Happy to say that in 2023, our return on investment was 18%, and this year it's 17%. So you get a pretty good return on their money. And obviously that makes a difference because it gives us more money so we can give more away. I mean, people go, what do you do for a living? I say, I raise money, I give it away. The raising is just as much fun as giving it away.
And you focus on the local community issues. Correct. And, the folks who set the funds up can set it up for whatever they want. But on top of that, you do other things. I know, like during COVID, you had set up a bunch to help the impacted communities and the people. You've done mental health has been a major focus. I know DEI was back in the summer of 2020 when everyone across the country was talking about it. So you work with people who they set where they want the money to go, Correct. But you also set kind of a community goal for yourself, right?
Correct, absolutely. I mean, part of it is what's the needs assessment, what's going on in the community, and where are the key needs. And they continue to be housing and food insecurity, which we're seeing a lot of. So we help to try to direct some of the things that we can through donor advised funds and some of our own funds. And as I mentioned earlier, from the Chelmsford Fund, we've assisted with their food bank over in Chelmsford as well. It's sometimes, folks think, okay, Lowell clearly is the city and the needs in the city are greater than any of the surrounding towns. But at least we forget that there are needs in all of those surrounding towns. There is food insecurity needs, there's mental health needs, they're everywhere. There's no town that's exempt from needs. And it's great to be able to come up with a fund like this that can address it locally. At the event, I'll chat a little bit, but we're going to have the town manager chat too, talk a little bit about what he thought the impact meant to to Chelmsford. And I think that's great to hear it from the person who manages that town and the relationship they have with the community foundation and more specifically with the folks on the Chelmsford Fund. Why don't you tell the folks who's on the Chelmsford Fund?
Thank you. John Chemaly is here. John, even though you've been very involved for really your entire life, it wasn't until 2018 that you actually set up the Chelmsford Community Fund.
That's correct.
With Jay. What made you go that route?
It's modeled, really, Ted. It's modeled after the Westford Community Fund. one of our board members, and Jay doesn't give himself enough credit as for what he's doing and the board that he's building. Karen Fredericks, Patty Mason, many, many others that are OCHA.
Yeah, 𝐒𝐿𝐲𝐿. Yeah.
These are community people that do so much for nonprofits around our general area. So he doesn't give himself enough credit. We started the Chelmsford Fund as a result of modeling with Patty Mason from the Westford Fund. Patty has a fund, and understand something, this fund is not, we don't look to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars, Teddy. Right now, we have about $25,000 in the fund. This fundraiser that's happening on Saturday will probably add another, I don't know, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 to the fund, because what we give out, we feel as though is very important to the nonprofits that we give the money to. We don't give thousands and thousands of dollars away to people. Do we give 500 for a printer? Or do we give, like we did the Budget Buddies, we gave them $1,000 a couple of years ago when we first started. And to them, it was like giving them $10,000. Right. It's a small fund to help small businesses in a big way.
And how do you determine which causes you're going to take up or which organizations
Great question.
you're going to help?
Great question. We get together, Teddy. We have George Dixon, Selectman in Chelmsford. He's on our committee. Mark Gilchrist, the pediatrician in Chelmsford. He's on our committee. We had Gary Hannigan on our committee. Now he's deputy chief in Chelmsford. Police chief, part of the 𝐒𝐿𝐲𝐿, which is Chelmsford Police Athletic League. People that are involved in the community sit on our committees, and they help us decide, okay, what are we going to do? Who do we want to give money to? I got to give a shout out to Lisa Maroney, who is one of the economic developers in Chelmsford, and I lean on her for some stuff. Lisa, help me out with where should we put some of this money? Or she'll call us and say, John, or she'll say, Jay. We just did a DCF Christmas party for like 150 kids, and they needed a bunch of money and they didn't know where to get it. So she leaned on us, and we gave her the money.
Yeah, and don't forget John Thibault and Elaine.
Yeah. John Thibault is the co-chair, and Elaine Thibault. They're the co-chairs of this event along with myself.
So
not the event, the fund.
So you kind of, the people you listed off as a relative who's who of people in the Chelmsford community.
Sure.
And you talked about you're working hand in hand with the town government, that all truly a collaborative project, right?
Yep. But again, I have to give credit to Patty Mason, who is one of our board members, lives in Westford, and she designed and implemented the Westford Fund. Same thing as the Chelmsford Fund. You made a statement a few minutes ago about how difficult it is, or it may be, to start a fund like this, and you got to go through the paperwork, 501c3, blah, blah, blah. No, they take care of everything. They took care of everything. We were up and running in, I don't know, a month?
Yep, it doesn't take long.
Really? So you were able to set everything up that quickly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, because the foundation's already in existence, obviously, right? We're a 501c3, we're a public entity. So, I mean, literally this is not the piece of paper, but a piece of paper, double-sided, is what the agreement is. It takes no time. We've got them, they're standard agreements, and we can execute scholarship agreements, donor advised things, the Chelmsford Fund, whatever that may be, very, very quickly, without a lot of bureaucracy in it. When I first came on board, the donor advised fund package was like 10, 12 pages. It's now 2. You'd think a lawyer would want to add words to it. I subtracted words from it because I wanted anybody to be able to read it.
You're not a lawyer, are you?
He could be. I'll tell you, when we voted him on.
You're not practicing anymore, so you get it out of your system.
Right.
When we voted him on as executive director, what did we have, 30 million?
Yeah, right around 30.
Right around 30 million. 70 million today. That's what he's done.
Yeah, I remember. And you're part of the board of the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, so you've been familiar with that organization and what Jay does. And when we first started talking on the radio, when you first assumed the helm, that thing was struggling. It was kind of humming under John Thibault. And then unfortunately he had, his health issues. And then they kept going through executive directors almost as quickly as I kept going through radio co-hosts.
You know what?
But I knew though when Jay, you settled on Jay and the opportunity presented itself that I kind of had a hunch that it was going to go there. But what, from 30 million to 70 million?
Yeah. And no lie, Jay knows this because I've said it publicly. I was leaving the board. I was all done. We had 5 executive directors, as you just mentioned, in 7 years. I was leaving the board. The place was rudderless. And we chose Jay, and I'm the first one to tell you, 9 years later, he's still here, and I'm very proud of what you've accomplished. And
thank you.
All these little funds. We're looking to start other funds too, Teddy. We talk about a Tewksbury Fund. We talk about, maybe we have some great inroads now that we're making in Carlisle and Concord. We've had some events out there. We want to grow this thing to be greater. I don't know how many towns are there, Jay?
21.
How much?
21.
All right, 21 towns. So we'd like to grow our footprint, even though we give out grants to these 21 towns. We want to grow our active footprint into these towns.
Right. Which is a process.
But if anyone's going to do it,
Takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it was, I came on board in 2016 and we laid the groundwork for a lot of things. And then COVID rolls into town and changed everything. Sure. I mean, you're not going out and meeting people for 2.5 years. We just, okay, let's make sure we get the money that came in for COVID, which we curated probably between 10 and $12 million worth of funds that came in through that combination of funds we've raised, combination of some state money and some other foundations that used us as boots on the ground to know where the needs were and where to get the money. And every single community that we serve got funds, every single one of them. And we were rolling out checks on the day after the COVID hit.
Much needed funds and stuff. Yeah, you literally after they did the shutdown and you guys were up and running. I remember chatting with you.
Right.
So.
Yeah, think about it. He called Trinity during COVID, first months of COVID. John, what do you need? Now, at that time, think about all the things we couldn't get. We couldn't get gowns. We couldn't get gloves. We couldn't get masks. We couldn't get a lot of stuff. Ambulance company with major contracts, 13 911 contracts. We couldn't, it was hard to get. He called me up and he said to me, John, go to my front porch. This is where I live. Go to my front porch, open the door, and take what's ever there for your company. Boxes and boxes full of supplies and equipment that we were not going to be able to get.
We had a supplier in Tingsboro that knew what we were doing and gave it to us at a very good price, and called us up and let them know what was coming in because he knew what we were doing. We were just turning it over. Yeah. We were giving it away. We were buying it from him, but we were giving it away. I wasn't charging John. Yeah, I did the same to your friend at the time too. Called up Mr. Daly and he goes, "That's not funny." I said, "I'm serious. We've got it." We were dropping off gloves and gowns and stuff at some of the homeless shelters on their front door. So it's just, what I think it's what a community foundation does.
What's that line that I read a few minutes ago? Improving the quality of life in Greater Lowell through impactful strategic philanthropy.
Yep.
There's an example right there. All right. So, by the way, how did you get these guys as a lineup? They don't just show up for... I'm not going to plan a little rinky-dink fundraiser and get Steve Sweeney, Paul Gilligan, and Paul Nardizzi to show up.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
You've got some connections, you guys, don't you?
John and Elaine Tebow. I'm not sure if people know, but John has a restaurant in Burlington called Goodnight Johnny's. And
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
The Mythans and I are always looking for a new place to try. Goodnight Johnny's.
Goodnight Johnny's. It's right near the Burlington Common. And it's a music dinner club. Every night there's music there. Last Sunday, my wife went with her girlfriends to the Elvis night, and she said it was sold out. You couldn't find an extra seat. We've been there. They had a hypnotist that was there. They had a person that they can tell you future.
Fortune tellers, yeah.
Fortune tellers. Okay, they know about your father, they know about your dog, they know about your mother. People that have passed, they connect you. The place is humming. 4 weeks ago, John had a comedy night with Steve Sweeney and 2 or 3 other guys there, $75 a head with dinner. Sold out, 250 people, sold out. So John, as our Chelmsford Fund co-chair, said, let me see if I can get these guys for Chelmsford at the CCA, Chelmsford Center for the Arts. A week later, he calls us up and says, hey, this is who I have. Sweetie, now Dizzy, and
Paul Gilligan.
Paul Gilligan, yeah.
So $75 to see them there. $35 folks paid to go there. And you got a packed house.
Yeah, we'll have some food.
Well, yeah, you guys got hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, we got heavy hors d'oeuvres.
You've got a full bar.
Full
Tell me a little about the venue. I drive by it constantly, the Chelmsford Center for the Arts.
It's beautifully
but I've never
redone.
been in.
It's beautifully redone. They have an auditorium that holds over 200 people. Oh, yeah.
Huge. I didn't realize it was that big.
You have to come see it. It's just a wonderful spot. They redid the whole interior. It's like almost a museum in some areas with exhibits from Chelmsford's past on one floor. Upstairs is a complete auditorium on the second floor. A stage, lighting. They do all sorts of musical events there. It's just a great spot.
How much money has the Chelmsford Community Fund and the Greater Lowell Community Foundation contributed to kind of this redo?
I think it was before us. I think it was before the
okay,
Chelmsford
so they
Fund.
did all that work before you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, the improvements to the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
Okay.
a woman that's running the organization now, Lauren Cochran. Just wonderful.
Yeah.
She's just wonderful.
Great person to work with for sure.
Yeah, a lot of good people in the town of Chelmsford. All right, so folks can't buy the tickets, unfortunately. Will there be scalpers outside selling
Good
them?
question. Oh, maybe I'll be a scalper.
There we
Maybe
go.
there you go. Scalp a couple of tickets. Raise, just give it back to
You
the
can't get in,
group.
but you get a ticket.
But if folks who do want to contribute to the Chelmsford Community Fund, how do they learn more?
Great. Jay?
I mean, one of the things that to learn anything about the Greater Lowell Community Foundation, it's glcfoundation.org. So go right there. And then there's so if you want to get on the list where you just get our monthly newsletter, which tells you all sorts of stuff, click on news, go down there, right-hand side, put your email in, you'll get updates. And the things that we talk about here are usually in the updates. If you're looking to just donate and you say, I want to donate, you just click on the donate button, and it'll bring you directly to a site, and you'll be able to find the Chelmsford Community Fund. Just type it in; it'll come right up.
All right, so simple enough.
Right.
All right.
Not hard.
All right. Last thing before we let you go, since anybody watching this now who doesn't have their tickets is not going to be able to hear the comedy, I want to give you two a chance to make folks laugh. Give us your funniest joke. and by the way, this is internet, so no limit on what you can or can't say. Want to take
Well, I didn't.
You said you're going to address the crowd. You have to make some kind of a joke, don't you?
It was funny you say that. I'm going, should I? Because I actually debated that discussion, that thought. I'm going, it's a comedy night. Do I start with a joke before three well-known comedians? And the answer's like, nah, I'm not going to try to do that. And the thing, though, Teddy, and I realize we're on internet, but the jokes that all come to mind, I can't even tell here. I just can't. I mean,
will tell you this though. We are selling at the bar comedy connected drinks. Comedy. One of them is called a comedy Cosmo.
right.
Another one mentioned a Sweet Sweeney or something because of Steve Sweeney.
Right.
$1 of those drinks, whatever cost the drinks are, $1
go to
of
the
it is
fund.
going to go to the Chelmsford Fund.
Fantastic.
So
Great event. One more time, website.
glcfoundation.org. You can find everything you want to find there. You can also find who the foundation is, who's on the board, and who the staff are. And you've got emails and phone numbers there too. So if there's anybody that's got a question, there's an easy way to get an answer.
It's simple enough. glcfoundation.org. We're going to be getting the word out as well here at Inside Lowell. Thank you for your partnership.
Yep.
And you've always been a staunch supporter of local media. You understand the importance of
course.
to a community and to what you do in the community as well. And John, as always, thank you. And
yeah, well, listen, I want to thank you for this opportunity right here. To
Anytime.
let us on this show, and I know thousands of people are going to see this, so we really appreciate that.
we got cameras, we got microphones. You coming up here anytime.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you so much, guys. Good
you.
luck. Good luck on Saturday night.
Yeah.
You don't really need at this
Yeah.
point.
Looks like the
but,
weather's going to be good for us too.
I hope,
think so, too.
I hope some folks get out
Forecast
there
is good.
and still contribute to the cause, because a lot of good community activities that benefit from this.
Thanks for
A
everything.
lot of people.
Indeed there is. Indeed there is. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in as well to this Inside Lowell podcast. As we like to say, Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place. Till next time, stay safe, stay warm, everybody.